What is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we have a bit more of an accessible guide or team building session for Kizuna Clash vs Moria, the 15-star Super Boss event. I put out a previous video today just showcasing what I could come up with in terms of big damage teams, and I basically asked what you guys want to see in terms of buildable or accessible teams. Now, I don't really have too much time to get to that, so hopefully this video will help you guys out, as I have put together two separate teams that can still take down the 15-star event and don't exactly use crazy supports or anything like that. In fact, they don't really use any supports at all, and they don't use any of the new batch characters, no memories of the Straw Hats units, no crazy characters since the 10th anniversary. Now, you are still going to see the Super Sugo Fest characters, you are still going to see anniversary exclusives, but look, this is Super Boss, and this is very endgame content, and hopefully, with some replacement ideas, you can build out these teams and sort of tweak them to suit your account. But if you enjoy the video, belt like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know if you guys need replacement options in the comment section below, and I'm sure someone will get to them. And if you guys are replacing units, let them be known in the comment section below, so other people can use your ideas to take down this particular event as well. So we're going to start it off. There's only two Super Bosses this season, which is good. One being Quick and one being Int. So first of all, we have the Quick Boss. It looks a little bit like this. I'm not going to ramble on too much about the boss, because I do want to try and talk about the actual replacements for the team and what the characters are doing and stuff like that as well. But like I said, I'll try and break it down as best as I can still as well. So everyone gets the good stuff. So you can bring any character you like. They're going to get all of their versatility, super swap, all that good stuff. On Battle 2, there's an attack down if you're below 2.5 times chain. Block orbs, fear, special one, and normal attacks only. If you pass a turn, you get a bunch of bad stuff. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. On the final stage, you can apply increased damage taken or weaken. There's normal attacks only, damage reduction, threshold. There's super type, ship bind, paralysis, and a intimidation. If you utilize any orb effect boost, you're going to lose it by one turn. If you apply a set chain multiplier, you get attack down, you lose your beneficial effects. Then after one turn, you get a bunch more bad stuff. You could probably make this work with 2 turns burst, but like I said, the team that we're using looks like this. Now, as I mentioned, we do have a lot of Super Sugos. Obviously, we have anniversary exclusives. And the big three that you guys are going to see in today's video are Super Sugo Fest Ace, Zoro Sanji, and Anniversary Sabo. Now, Anniversary Sabo's been out for a little while. Hopefully, you guys picked him up along the way somewhere. But as I mentioned, we'll talk about replacements here and there. And Zoro Sanji's pretty much just damaged with their Super Tandem on most of these teams. If you guys don't have them at max Super Tandem, obviously that's going to be hindered. But with these particular teams, you can actually use the Sabo Super Tandem as well. So you have options there. But the team's led by Yamato. On turn 2, you actually get Special Binded. You get a full board of Block Orbs. And there's 1 turn of Fear. And that's where Sabo comes in. If you have Sabo's Fear maxed out, he's going to remove the Special Bind on himself. And then because you have the Luffy support on your Ace, this one right here, you actually get a very small chain buff. With this very small chain buff, it allows Sabo to be a 3-turn chain boundary. You can bypass the Special Bind, and then you can actually utilize your Ace on this turn. We're going to be bringing a friend Captain Ace, and with that, you're going to get 3 turns of an orb buff. You'll carry it into the final stage, and you don't have to worry about losing that 1 turn there. Plus, the second Ace will become a conditional booster that way. On the final stage, we have Robin and Jinbei. They can remove some threshold for you. They can also remove damage reduction. They give base stats. We have Yamato to remove damage reduction as well. She also applies increased damage taken. She also applies a color affinity buff for the team as well. She's very, very good. And then Zoro Sanji are going to be your Super Tandem unit, your chain shenanigans, and all that fun stuff. Remember, if you guys don't have maxed out Super Tandem of Zoro Sanji, I don't know, maybe you guys might only have level 1 or level 2. You will need 3 characters. Once you hit level 4, you can actually get access to the 2-character list, which is exactly what we need for this, because the Super Tandem of Zoro Sanji is then going to funnel into the final tap of Yamato. Now, if you don't have max Yamato, it's just going to be less damage. Like, don't stress. I believe when you get her up to her final tap value, you need 2 of the following, but it says 3. We have 2 aces anyway, so that's going to be fine. And as mentioned, if you guys are missing that level 4 Super Tandem on Zoro Sanji, you can actually utilize the Super Tandem of Sabo. With Sabo, you just need, if you get him to level 3, 1 or more Cerebral characters. Actually, it doesn't matter because you have a Robin unit, so you can actually tap with this, and that way you will have a super tandem nonetheless. It's like I said, it's not going to be as much damage, but it's much of a muchness. If you guys are missing Anniversary Sabo, you can basically just replace him with any special bind remover. Obviously, you're going to miss out on the chain boundary on the final stage, but look, it's not the end of the world. You just need to be able to remove the special bind, as long as the unit has fear. Something like Carrot and Nami will work fine. The new Nami, obviously, is a great option if you can get around the fear somehow there. But like I said, anyone to remove special bind will work. If you guys are missing your own ace, then you pretty much want to bring someone that can get around the block orbs for stage 2. Nami, Carrot are fantastic at covering both if you have that particular character. However, again, you won't have the chain boundary for the final stage, but at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal. If you have Nami, Carrot, you can substitute Nami, Carrot into the Sabo spot and then just replace Ace with anyone that you like. But Ace is just kind of giving you that extra orb boost. If you bring any other two-turn orb booster, that's going to work out nicely too, because then you can utilize your Ace as the friend captain Ace as the conditional boost rather than that. So that's the team. As you can see, no crazy supports, nothing like that. Ace removes the paralysis too, which is awesome, and that works out quite nicely. As for the int variation, this one's a bit of a doozy, but I did put together this particular team. And as you guys can see, Ace, Luffy, and Zoro, Sanji, and Sabo are back once again. For the friend captain for this team, we're using Gear 5 6-star, not the 6+, the 6-star Gear 5. So that way you can get around Bind and Paralysis when you combine him with Nami. So on Battle 1, everyone gets the good stuff. On turn 2, there's Bind, Special Bind, Hunger, and Normal attacks only. After one turn, you get a whole bunch of bad stuff. Just don't let this happen. On Battle 3, get an attack down if you have any orb that's not a tandem or a Psi orb. Full immunity except boost damage taken. Normal attacks only. A super type, 2 turns of Paralysis, Resilience, Nullified damage, as well as 2 turns of an Color Affinity Reduction Intimidation. So if you use a 3 times Color Affinity, it becomes a 2 times Color Affinity. Or if you use any attack boost, you are going to lose your beneficial effects. So that's very, very annoying. But the idea of this particular team is because your bottom row gets silenced for 5 turns, and you get special binded as well as blinded, Luffy's going to take care of the bind. And then ideally you'd want a way to get around the special bind. Now for this particular team, I was actually planning on using the Nami special as the way of getting the chain boost, so that way you could deal with the special bind. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. So once again, we're going to have to utilize that cheeky little Luffy support on Ace. That's going to allow you to get the 3-turn chain boundary, and it's going to work out really, really nicely. I did have Kung Fu Luffy on Zoro Sanji, so that way you could just give yourself some more matching orbs. But look, we're just going to have to run it a little bit differently. The idea here is to get the chain boost, use Sabo, carry the chain boundary into the final stage, so then you have that nice buff there. Then we have Yamato. This particular Yamato here, you can use her on turn 2, and she actually gives you a tap timing perfects. If you hit 3 perfects, she applies a 1.5 increased damage taken on the next turn. So really nice stuff. You can use her. She triggers the EX of Luffy, which is very, very important. And that way you can get lots of damage output there. With the final stage, you're not going to have access to the Yamato. You're not going to have access to Sabo. You're going to get paralyzed. Nami's going to gobble that up. And then that's going to allow you to get a bigger base stats as well as a bigger chain value. I believe she needs a lot of charge to get to her max level. So I think the Zoro Sanji special is still going to give you more for the chain boost, I believe. She starts at 1.5, and for every 5 specials, she goes up by 0.1. You're going to get 15 at the start, then you're going to get another 12, so you're really only getting 0.3. I'd probably still use Zoro Sanji for the chain shenaniganry, but the thing with that is you just have to use Nami last. You want to try and keep all of the Psi orbs for this particular fight as well. So ideally, or tandem orbs, but Psi orbs are going to work better. So ideally, what you want to do is super swap with Zoro Sanji. You can then use the Ace special to override the orb buff, as well as give you a conditional buff at 2.75. And then you can use Luffy to give yourself a full board of Psi orbs. The upside to having a full board of Psi orbs is then when you activate the EX, you are going to have the 3 times multiplier for those orb effects. So works out really nicely, getting a 4 times orb boost and a 2.75 conditional from Ace. That's going to work out really, really well. You're going to have the increase to the attack and Ace's orbs, thanks to Zoro and Sanji, plus their chain shenanigans. If you use the Luffy special after the EX, it's going to give you an orb buff, but that doesn't matter. You're really just getting the color affinity buff. It's going to go down to 2 times, but look, it's still color affinity at the end of the day. It's still going to work out nicely. Plus, he allows you to bypass the damage nullification if you guys don't have Ace on this particular team. And then finally, we have Nami to get around the resilience. You can activate her super class, and that's going to remove some... that's going to give her a tandem orb, and that's going to allow you to activate the super tandem. You obviously have two... What's it called? You have 2... Oh my god, I'm blanking. You have 2 conditional boosts on this particular team. So if you guys don't have Zoro Sanji, you can actually just use Robin in that place. That's going to work absolutely fine, because Nami's still giving you a chain boost as well. It's not as good as what Zoro Sanji's doing, but at the end of the day, it's still going to work out fairly nicely. We're probably going to be using Nami's super tandem here as well, because Nami's super tandem is just a little bit better. But Nami does need 2 characters. I believe she needs 2 characters. She needs, 2 characters, and I believe she can use Yamato as well. So as long as you tap with Nami first, so if you go Nami, Zoro Sanji, and then Yamato, provided you, well, it depends on what your investment looks like. That should work out absolutely fine. But as for the rest of the team, that's pretty much what it looks like. Hopefully, this helps you guys out in some way when it comes to Super Boss. If it does, make sure to belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, if you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.